Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here in person and on Facebook Live. We'll now begin the monthly memorial service. Officiating the service will be Reverend Yano and Edna Sensei. Please join us in prayer. Heidi. Mediation prayer, page 2. Let us make a sacred mediation of Yano Konko Sensei, sincerely and wholeheartedly each and every day. May we receive the mediation of you with all our hearts and souls on this day, this very moment. Yano Konko Sensei sama, Yano Konko Sensei sama, Yano Konko Sensei sama, Yano Konko Sensei sama. Purification prayer. Through the way of mediation, we ask sincere apologies, we accept them with you, our divine purity. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and irreverses from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living, reflect your divine will. Let us be all joyful and loving heart, always one with you. Kami prayer. Reverently we pray that brilliance of heaven, the riches of earth, time flows without cease, your spots without him. In heaven and earth is the evidence of all. In heaven and earth is the truth of all. For these wondrous forms, for these wondrous works, let us praise the Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as the divine parent, to many Kami's infinite blessings is stability. Yet they not knowing the way, are wrong in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortunes, great grief, and sorrow. Our founding father, Konko suffered many trials in this world. They held fast to faith and sincerity. Received Kami's great blessings, and began a life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray, the divine parent's great wish was thus fulfilled. Konko accepted with all mediation, that leads to mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By day he taught the way of faith to all who suffer, expanding the blessings of heaven and earth, and keeping out the coming of night. By night he prayed for those who grieve, seeking salvation for all who suffer, and he knew not the dawning of the day. Though years passed, the world changed, he did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus was given the interpretation of his gift, the guiding principle for our daily life. The divine favor was us renewed, and blessings flowed universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation, Yano Konko Sensei. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way. Through all the hardships of this world, preparing our body and soul, the way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Him. Without regard for day or night, whether we are near or far, the way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For leaving unaware divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in our divine favor. Let us care for those in need and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to a life of purpose. And may fulfilled in us, we are fulfilled in time. May this way of fulfillment be manifested in this world. May promise to assure true peace and the well-being of all people be fulfilled. Lord, humbly pray, earnestly pray. Listen to
Closing mediation message for the monthly renewal service. In our presence, becoming Konko life, the life of Tenchi Kainu Kami. On behalf of Konko Mission Wahio Yasu Yano, we are still following for it. Gather here for monthly renewal service on this day, over 21st, 2022, with this service. We seek to honor and extend our sincere gratitude for the blessings we have enjoyed all to do this day, and pray for the spiritual fruition on the mutual downstream of the people who have been affiliated with this church. It's a great honor to serve this church the last 45 years, along with my wife and other children, to support all the people in the faith community. After succeeding the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi, we established this church as branch church of Konko Mission Hulu in 1940. All of the blessings we are blessed to continue towards mediation. We truly appreciate the fortunate encounter and twist of late fate. Reverend Haruko Takahashi was saved through the encounter with Reverend Kodama in Europe to become a Konko minister. We have been received their blessings. The time of our ancestors into our descendants receive blessings for living and even after we pass away. In memory and respect to our deceased ministers, family members, friends, we pray that a virtue of Konko life, the life of Tenchi Kainu Kami, enable Amidama to be fulfilled in our peace. This year marks the 82nd year since this church was initiated. None of this would have been possible without your divine guidance and blessings in support of many people. We continue to extend our prayers for people from Hawaii, the throughout the world that are experiencing hardships and suffering. We also protest and pray for the environment that has been damaged and polluted by decades of chemicals and unsustainable elements created by humans. The life of Tenchi Kainu Kami is ours to be of service to you. We helping others as that goes expression of thanks for blessing we have been able to enjoy. Please let us help each other and guide people who live life is suffering through the virtue of Konko life. And the life of Tenchi Kainu Kami will be known to people that they can attain peace of mind. I pray that my service is going to one end.
Recitation of Tenji Kakitsuke, page 6.
池上本校大臣天使金の神神へ
おかげは心であり、今月今日でこの目に Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always now and forever on this very day, pray. Yano Konko大臣天使金の神神へおかげは我が心にあり、今月今日でこの目に Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always now and forever on this very day, pray. Adoration Prayer, page 7. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes in awe toward heaven soaring above. We bow in this prayer toward our ancient deep. Giving them such gifts of Kami's good giving, how happy and grateful we are. The invitation of Yano Konko Daishin does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent, in grace of Father and Mother, the blessings of Kami, flow without limit for all generations. Those of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. We write every day earnestly and reverently. We praise the virtues of Kami, we honor the power of Kami. Shintoku Sanji, page 29.
お家祭れば天高くお家祭れば天高く愚神祭れば地は厚し神の恵みに生かさるるびの幸いぞありがたき分かりき神の恩取りすぎ一人も隠る時のなく天地の神の守りとき近きの隔てなし神に尽くしみはよろずよにあまねく満ちて果てしなく神計らいはくすしくて人の思いぞ呼ばざる我ら今月今日やり祭りてひたすらに神の御影をたたえますらん神の慰霊を仰ぎますらん
一度入り一度入り Dharma Prayer, page 12. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you are given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge the duties faithfully, each according to his time of years. You will remember eternally, your life before from generation to generation. Honor as the foundation of our society, the roots of our families. Through the mysterious virtues of Kami, you enter the Konko faith. You walk the way of Konko Daijin, respecting the will of the divine parent. You have amassed great merit through your faith, taking the world beyond in the beauty of existence. Our gratitude is boundless for your loving favors. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our own divine spirits. We receive you stand by us, each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami, and help us fulfill our tasks as people without faith. Let us guide us to reach us, that we may never lose the way of faith, let it hand down to all generations. Now may we peace and prosperity within our home. Protect us, guide us, and teach us.
Monthly universal is Sashi Yano Sensei, the founding minister of Konko Mishiwahiwa, the late Reverend Haruko Takashi, the Reverend Masataro Miyazaki of Konko Church of Amagi, the Reverend Masayuki Ekike Kodama, the Reverend Masayuki Yoshi, the Konko Mission of Unu, the Reverend Hidejiro Toshi Kosaka of Konko Church of Town, and the Midama Street, the people who have ever been guided and corrected in the Konko Mishiwahiwa and departed in the month of August. Ayashida Junpei no Mitama no Kami, Ayashida Sunao no Mitama no, Nakano Masaru no Mitama no, Kono Masayuki no Mitama no, Yano Osataka no Mitama no, Eguchi Suzie no Mitama no, Eguchi Helen no Mitama no, Yamashita Kima no Mitama no. With deepest favors, we have gathered here today, August 21st, 2022, in observance of the monthly Yano service in a renewed remembrance, honor, appreciation, and praise for those who came before us and became the foundations of this lives. On behalf of Konko Mishiwahiwa, Ayasuriano, Reverend Foreign Friend, and Yano Sweet, each of us has been born into this world to live through the grace and love of the life force Tenchi Kainu-kan. From the moment of conception and throughout our lives, we have been immersed and fully saturated with their blessings. One day, we will return to the spiritual food upon departing from our physical existence. I found the Konko-like state. Those who are living between heaven and earth are blessed with Tenchi Kainu-kan. Even after death, we shall also receive the blessing of Tenchi Kainu-kan. Whether we are living or dead, we must remember that heaven and earth will be our home. As such, Konko-like showed us that there's relationship in life and death. And always remember that a blessing of our found, life force transcend time, space, and place, and distance. I found the Konko line state, the light, that sun shall pronounce is a divine blessing. The ring, the fold is a divine blessing as well. All humans are asked to live in the midst of divine blessings. People are born with divine blessings. If with divine blessings, they die. amicus blessings. Through divine awakeness, you have been guided to Konko faith. Your diligence and sincerity in pursuit of the teachings of the Fan Konko Daishin enable me to understand and appreciate the way of Konko life through the work of divine mediation. Again, Konko Daishin. We offer our humblest respect and sincere gratitude for the work of the Midama Spirit. Deepest appreciation. We have gathered here to remember the appreciation of your work and contributions to our lives in the past and present. Please accept the many offerings that's before you, our sincere prayers of us all, and taking tokens of our sincere thanks for your presence in our lives. We extend our prayers and thanks for your spiritual work as you help, guide, protect, and comfort us in time of need. We extend our deep appreciation and heartfelt gratitude for enabling us to appreciate the operation of this church for the last 82 years. This would not have been possible if it were not for you. We pray that through your virtue and Tamano Konko faith will pass on from generation to generation, and the blessings of faith will realize by many. Thank you again, all you.
No. Heidi. Sanji, page 36.
よいよんのおやは我が家の神我が神と心尽くしていつきまつらな心尽くしていつきまつらなとと君親の神たちを海のこのために家の柱を沈め立てたまいはすこのために世のなりわいを守り助けたまい隠り世の見えぬ境にましませども見美しみのみ心は写しよに変わらせたまわず先御霊のまさきくさきわえたまいくしみたまのくしみに恵みたまいて志は薪の柱の動きなくなりわいは結ぶ砂目のゆるびなく真心清らになけに努めしめたまいうからやからやわらぎあいて日にけにうらやすく楽しましめたまいついに写しよなことを得て神の御門に入らん時には必
玉美しみをこむらしめたまわんものと神の実りの絶えなるおかしこみかたじけな耳親の恵みのおぼろげならぬおうれしみ喜び申すことをみ心もすずやかにきこ示したまえと申すあのくしびのみ親の御霊あのくしびのみ親の御霊あのとのみ親の神あのとのみ親の神一度入りGood morning, everyone. Let us read the Konko Faith Our Creed on page 73. The Konko Faith Our Creed. We believe in Tenchi Kami, the divine parent of the universe, our founder Konko Daishin embraced Kami's revelations, and as divine mediator answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami, today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirits one with Kami, caring for us eternally. We respect and appreciate other paths taken by humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today for our monthly memorial service. Recently, I went to Japan with my parents for 9 days, and we came back safely just this past Thursday. we went for the purpose of attending my grandpa's 10th year memorial service, Reverend Masataka Yano, which is my mom's dad. So the grave is in Oita, Japan. And our trip this time, it's like every time we go on a trip, a family trip, it's like a whirlwind. You know, it's like jump from place to place, and there is no rest. It's called kunkizami, you know? It's like, oh man, there's no rest. And it's like we need another vacation after coming back from Japan. That's how tired we get. So anyways, we landed in Tokyo, went to Okayama the next day, then Hiroshima, then next day went to Fukuoka, and then Oita. Then we went from a ferry ride from Beppu to Yawatahama, which is Shikoku. Then we went to Matsuyama, and back to Kyoto, and then Tokyo. So we went the full circle. Oh man, it was pretty tiring, but it was really fun. This trip really was a miracle for us because we had many obstacles even prior to the trip. Like Clayton, my husband Clayton, he caught COVID like about 3 weeks before our trip, and I was fully prepared to catch it. And I was like, you know what, I'm probably going to catch it 100% because, you know, there's no place to quarantine or anything, and I'm with him all the time, so I think if I can't go on this trip, then so be it. It was meant to be. It's like whatever happens is meant to be, so I was totally in acceptance. But thankfully, none of us caught it. And it's like so weird. I was like, how can I not catch it? But I was grateful. Really grateful I didn't catch it. Because if I caught it, I was like, oh, my parents are probably going to catch it, and we're all not going to be able to go to Japan. So that was kind of my fear. And about 5 days before our trip, my mom called me, and she said, I lost my green card and license. I was like, what? Lost what? And they're like, you need your green card, Okasan. And she's like, I know, I need it. I was like, we cannot go on this trip if you don't have your green card. There's no way. And for the whole day, she was looking in the house. There's a lot of clutter. She couldn't find it. I was like, oh my goodness. So that really stressed me out. It stressed all of us out. And I prayed really hard. I was like, oh, Mama, please let us find my mom's green card. She doesn't know where she put it. Because when she looked in her wallet, it was missing. So I was like, oh my goodness. And the last time she saw it was when she handed it to my dad when he went to get the rail pass. So I was like, oh no, he must have dropped it in Ala Moana or something. But then my dad said, no, he gave it back to my mom. But then both of them are getting kind of forgetful these days, so I don't know who to listen to. I was just trusting in kind of some of that they'll find it. And the following day, I came to Gokinen over here, and my heart was like, today you will find the green card. I had that message from Kami-sama. And sure enough, within an hour, I was able to find it. I found it in a pile of clutter. And it was like a place where I never would have found it, you know? So, my mom was like really happy, and we were all really, really happy to find it. Both of them, the green card and my mom's license. And then next, our PCR test was like 1 day before the trip, right? So if any of us became positive, we wouldn't be able to go. Well, I wouldn't, or somebody wouldn't be able to go. So hoping and praying that everyone came back negative, and thankfully, it came back negative. So, you know, one after another, we met these obstacles, and everybody tested negative. So we're like, yes, I think we're good now. We can go to Japan. And then we're able to ride on the airplane. We went on Zip Air. Zip Air is really cool. It's a discount airline. It's under Japan Airlines, and I highly recommend Zip Air. Highly. Yeah, it was really comfortable and clean, and the service was excellent. So anyways, when we were on the airplane, actually before we went on the airplane, I always touch the exterior part of the airplane. You know, I just give it a little tap and I say, you know, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Because I treat it like a living thing, the airplane. And I say, please take care of us during this ride. And then, like, the first hour of our trip, the plane was shaking for an hour. It had heavy turbulence, and I was kind of worried. I was like, "Oh, we can't even go to the bathroom. It's shaking so much." And then they couldn't even serve us our in-flight meal because it was shaking so much. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And you know, before the trip, I watched 3 airplane-related shows, like crash shows. You know, like Sully and the Miracle in the Hudson River, and I was watching Manifestation, which is about a plane, like weird stuff happening on an airplane, and like I was watching like 3, so I was like, oh no, this crazy stuff happened. But then if I kept worrying, I'm gonna go down the dark rabbit hole, and then I think I'm gonna attract negative things. So I was like, you know what, Kami-sama, please guide us to safety. And thankfully the turbulence stopped, and we all landed safely in Narita Airport. And when we landed, we stayed overnight in Tokyo. Very next morning, early morning, we went to Okayama, visited Konko headquarters. My goodness, it was so hot! It was 38 degrees Celsius, which is 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's Konko, the Gohonbu headquarters is in a basin. So there's mountains surrounding. And because of that, there was no wind, no trade winds at all. And I sweated about a pound. I never sweated that much in my whole life. And plus, we left early. I woke up at like 4:30. You woke up at 3:30? Yeah, I kind of woke up at 3:30 because of the time difference, right? So I was wide awake at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I actually ate breakfast at 4:30 a.m., a sandwich and some juice. And so when we reached Gohonbu, my mom says, oh, before we eat lunch, let's go Omairi first. I was like, okay, it's like past 12 already, but it's like, I'm really hungry, but it's okay, let's listen to Mama. So we went to go Omairi first, and then she said, next day, let's go Okutsuki. Then we went to the Okutsuki, you know, the founder's tomb. And we visited all around the Yuzaki Mountain. We visited Sato Norio-sama's grave, Kondo Fujimori's grave, and the successive minister's grave. And then I went all the way to the Konko Gakuin. I wanted to take a picture there. And then we went back to where we went to eat. It was pretty much like 3. It was like 3:30. 3:30, and so we hadn't eaten for more than 10 hours. And I was so exhausted and hot. And I could feel my blood sugar level like way at the danger zone. Oh, guys, I gotta eat something. And then when our food came, because I was so tired and hungry, that I didn't feel hungry. You know, when you feel really hungry and you don't feel hungry anymore, you feel nauseated. And after I finished my meal, I felt sick. I feel like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And I had to rest for some time in that restaurant, in the cool air conditioning. Thankfully, I had cool air conditioning and drank a lot of water, ate some shaved ice later. And I was like, oh. And Okasan and Otosan were like, okay, we gotta go now. I said, wait. 5 more minutes. And 5 more minutes passed, and they're like, okay, we gotta go now. I said, wait. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. And we waited a good 30 minutes there resting. But then after the shaved ice, I felt better again and felt like my blood sugar level went back up again. And the energy levels went back up. So thank goodness. Oh, I thought I was going to collapse. And afterwards, we went to Hiroshima, went to my uncle's church, Iwatani Kyokai, and they allowed us to stay there. They're so welcoming, very nice people. I really appreciate we have family that are like that. And then we went to the next day, early morning. It's like every morning we wake up really early and like hurry up and go next. Next morning we went to we went from Hiroshima station to Fukuyama station, and then we went to visit a family friend in Onomichi. And after that, we went back to Onomichi station. And when we were going to Onomichi station, and we got our rail passes out, my dad was like, "Oh, wait, where's my rail pass?" He looked in his wallet. "I can't find my rail pass." I was like, "What? No, you can't be losing your rail pass." It's like, we only used it for a day and you lost it. We have like 7 or 8 more days left with those, so you can't lose your rail pass. So I was really shocked in the moment. I was like frustrated. Of course, I didn't call the scene. Thankfully, I'm not that crazy. But in my heart, I was like, "Oh, no, this can't be happening." You know, if you lose your rail pass, you lose a lot of money trying to, you know, and so the train ticket issue for people, it's called a Midori no Madoguchi. Person said, "Oh, you know what? If you lose your rail pass, they'll reissue one if you go to Okayama station." So I was like, "You sure now?" He's like, yeah. Just go to Okayama station, they'll reissue your rail pass. So we went from Fukuyama to Okayama, and then we went to the information ticket booth over there and said, "Okay, can you reissue my dad the rail pass?" And they're like, okay. They did all the work. And I guess they tried to put in his passport number again into the machine. And the machine was like, "Denied." And so they couldn't issue. And I said, wait, we were told that you guys could, and that's why we came all the way here from Fukuyama station. And they're like, "I'm so sorry, there's nothing we can do about this situation." And I said, "Really? There's absolutely nothing you guys can do about this situation?" And they're like, "No." I was like, "No." So that was like really frustrating. And we looked everywhere, like his bag, his suitcase, his wallet, man. I looked through it, my mom looked through it, and it was just gone. He must have dropped it somewhere, because, you know, every time he puts it in his shirt pocket, and it must have fell out or something, but it was gone. But, you know, I thought, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to continue to be anxious about this and upset. So I just like, well, it's not like we don't have money to, you know, buy the extra tickets that my dad needs because he doesn't have a rail pass. So I was like, you know what, it's okay. I brought extra money for the purpose of this anyways. I had a feeling something like this was going to happen, so I brought extra money. So that was really an okage, because before, we really didn't have money, so we relied 100% on our rail pass, and if we lose it, we were screwed. So this time, Kami-sama gave us the blessing of financial stability, and I'm really glad. Yeah, really okage. That was a really big okage. And we went from Onomichi, so Okayama Station, to Hakata Station, which is in Fukuoka, Japan. And we stayed at the hotel over there. And we went to the Konko Church of Hirao. Yeah? And while we were in Hakata, my brother David, he texted me. He's like, because I've been texting Rodney, my brother Rodney, David, and my sister-in-law Fong and Clayton about the rail pass situation that my dad lost it. So I was venting to them via text. And David texted me personally and he said, "Edna, I know you must be very upset about this situation, but please don't take it out on Otosan. Don't get upset at Otosan. And just enjoy the rest of your trip. Don't have any negative thoughts." And by that time I read that text, I already had cooled down pretty much completely, and I was like really looking forward to the rest of my trip. So David's text, I was like, I didn't, you know, get upset at my dad, because it is what it is and we can't help it. But I still had extra money because there's some kind of like this thing might happen, so it's okay. I didn't cause a scene or anything, and I'm fine. I'm just happy that my dad and my mom were healthy, and I'm healthy, and we had extra money. So I said, "It's okay, it's all good, David, don't worry." But it was really funny that David texted me that, because he knows my personality. I She's a crazy, sometimes a crazy daughter. But anyways, after that we went to, the next day we went to Amagi Church. Supposedly, we're supposed to go to Amagi Church before, the one day before, but because of the whole rail pass situation, we had to go back and forth, and we wasted so many hours on that day for that rail pass, so we just couldn't go to Amagi Church that day. But the next morning, early next morning again, we headed to Amagi Church. I think we arrived at Amagi like at close to 8:30, 9 o'clock a.m., which is pretty amazing. And Oya Sensei was there and everybody, and we were really fortunate to be able to see Oya Sensei because he was going to go to Kokura Church, Omairi. So he was almost going to go on his way, but he was able to talk to us, and it was really, really a great visit. And after that, we went back to Hakata Station, and we went toward the grandpa's house in Oita Prefecture. And from there, really, everything sailed smoothly, and we were able to attend Grandpa's 10th year memorial service. Our uncle Masami, my mom's brother, he had everything set up for us, and the following day, he even called the sensei, Reverend Mitsutake from the Konko Church of Tateishi, and his son to the house, so they can perform a memorial service in front of the house altar, and again in front of the grave, which was like within walking distance of the property. In the sweltering hot weather, Sensei, he's like 80 something, close to 90, I think, I'm not sure. But he's wearing his robes, many layers, and you could tell he's really skinny, so he was kind of shaking, I was like, oh, I feel kinodokuri, I feel kind of bad that he's performing the service for us, and in this really, really deathly hot weather and under the blazing sunlight. And I was like, 本当にありがとうございます I talked to Mitsutake Sensei and the son, and but the ceremony went really, really well. And for the family to go this far to have a memorial service for their relative, for their loved one, I could just imagine how happy Grandpa Masataka was. I mean, it's 10 years after he passed away. And for his mitama to be revered, honored in this manner, with a daughter flown all the way from Hawaii, and my dad, and me, and like all these people, all his loved ones gathering at that one spot to remember him. It was so surreal. I can just imagine how happy his mitama spirit was. So I'm really glad that we were able to be there, present, and to honor his mitama spirit. That night, around 9 o'clock, our uncle drove us to the ferry port, and then it was like an overnight ferry, so it was like close to like 12 o'clock depart, and then we land in Shikoku close to like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we were able to sleep in on the ship till like 5:30 a.m. And that's the kind of trip ride that we had. And our auntie picked us up, Auntie Mitsuyo, my dad's sister. She made us breakfast. She woke up early too, because she picked us up at 5:30 a.m. She had breakfast ready for us, and wow, it's like, thank goodness for family, I'm really happy that because of them, I was able to come to Japan because, they filled out my form, my special form. It's called the Koseki Tohon, or family register, and they went through so much trouble just for me to be able to go to Japan with my parents. And we went to visit my dad's hometown church, the Kawanoishi Church, and we visited the graves of our grandpa Ichiro and Unobuko Bachan and our ancestors, and we are able to offer flowers also to the sensei of the Kawanoishi Chokai. Then we went to Matsuyama and Dogo Onsen City, and that was a really nice, memorable time. My cousin, she drove us there, and she accommodated us around and took us places. So I've never been to Matsuyama. I mean, like, only there for like a layover kind of thing, but never walked around that place. I really got to visit there again, take more time, and because it's a beautiful, beautiful place that I do want to go back again. And next day, early next day again, we went to Kyoto, and we went to the Hiei-san, Mount Hiei. My dad, he used to go there when he was younger. And we went to the Enryakuji temple in Mount Hiei. Enryakuji in Mount Hiei was under renovation. So like the whole temple, you know, that ginormous wooden temple, it was covered with galvanized steel, completely covered from elements. And inside there, they were renovating. There were like a lot of construction workers renovating the beams and everything. So that was a sight that you don't see very often, and we were able to go there. Coming back from there, it was raining a lot, and we heard like thunder rumbling from above, like right above. I was like, oh man, the thunder's like right above our heads. I hope it doesn't strike us. Because me and my mom especially, we are full, like high energy. So like, you know how thunder likes to strike people with high energy?
Really?
So I was like, okay, fine, make sure you hold the handle of the umbrella, not the metal part. Anyways, my shoes were soaked with the rain. And then we went to Tokyo the next Kawanishi Church. Yeah, my friend Kawanishi Church. Konko Church of Kawanishi visited it. I made a surprise visit. I didn't even tell her, my friend, that we're gonna come. And I like to make surprise visits. And then when I walked in, the mom was there, and I was praying and hoping that the daughter was going to be there too. And she was, thankfully. And then I said, oh, Edna desu, Edna yo. And she was like, huh? I was like, oh, it's Edna from Hawaii. And she said, no, it can't be, no. I said, it's Edna. And she said, Lucia! Lucia! Meaning, you lie! You lie! I said, yes. She said, no, but how? How can you be here? It's impossible! She was so surprised. It was really fun, and we talked for about 2 hours and all kinds of stuff, and it was really good times at their church. So I really want to thank them for welcoming us in the church. And the very next day we went to Tokyo, yeah, and then we flew back safely to Hawaii. Really, it was a whirlwind trip, and sorry my sermon is like kind of long today, but I just wanted to share that. That was my omiyage for you guys. Good times, good memories, and lots of okage. Thank you.
Thank you for the service. Edna talked about the trip, maybe the whole story. The reason I went to attend the 10th memorial service to Mr. Osaka, Yano, father of Edna Sensei, was because if he did not agree to get married to Edna Sensei, and here many people usually respond, "Oh, how that's too far away." So actually, when I proposed, his father responded, "This could be a divine matter." So Kami-sama God. So he went to go home with Sensei and pray to the grave before the grave of the Kyoso-san, the founder. And while he was praying, he was so much overwhelmed with deep emotion and shed tears for some reason. So, and they said, they go, "It's okay, you can get married to this man." That's the moment he said that here. If he's just too far away, then there would be no relationship. Anyway, that was the reason why I went to Japan. Actually, I lost my pass, repass, 2 days of this. But that can be compensated by airfare. In February, I booked the flight. It was quite cheap, so cheap airlines. So that could be compensation for the loss of my pass. Anyway, I met my brother, Eva's brother, who lost control of the half of body down, because the maybe kind of mistake at the hospital. He could not feel any pain, no sense at all. So he, in about 3 years, I thought he could never regain his sense of sensory, his legs. But now I witnessed he can move the legs till fingers. It's amazing. It really is kind of miracle. So this was greatest blessing I received. And I went to also with Hieda, and asked me, "Why did you go to Hieda so often?" Actually, I stayed about 1 year at Kyoto, so from time to time I went to enjoy to climb up the mountain here. And you can understand why I went there when you go over there. Actually, the main hall was under construction. It can be unbelievable. The Konko organization to undertake this kind of humongous, huge construction project. It's so much time, money. So, and this Buddhist temple was established 1923. And they died 1,234 years ago. It can be more than 10 times the Konko organization history. And I thought this could be possible because they keep on progressing every single day, step by step. They never stop to grow. So if Konko organization, if this church needs to make some progress, in 1 day, or month, year, generations. So this is my greatest academy. We need to invest for growth of this church, the Konko based community in Hawaii. In Japan, they say Himasari, Tsukimasari, Daimasari. どうしますみたいな。One, a bit of progress in a day, a bit of progress in a month, a bit of progress in a year, a bit of progress in one generation. So if we keep on this, the organization, the church can keep on growing. If they stop growing, they try to maintain only, they never grow. They may deteriorate. That is so true. So this is my church I received. This is my dream. And actually the founding minister of the Konko Church of Magi, Reverend Master of yesterday, his only wish was to get his faith progress a bit more. 自分の信心が少しでも進むことを日々願う。He was a founder of such a big church. But he still keep on praying for his own faith progress day and night. So this is really amazing. Because of this spirituality of the founding minister, the church is intact and keep on growing. So we need to learn from this great man. We need to help a dream to grow in the faith. This is my response to the talk. Thank you very much.
Yai Konko Lai Shinji Kai no Kanishi Okayawa Yai Kongesko Nishi Tanome Yai Konko Lai Shinji Kai no Kanishi Okayawa Yai Kongesko Nishi Tanome. Page 50, last paragraph, or June 10th. Page 50.
Okay.
On June 10, Kami directed Gonji Daimyoshin to change his divine name to Konshi Daimyoshin. This new divine name was in recognition of his faith development, as he was now able to manifest divine works in accordance with Kami's wishes. His new name was also an acknowledgement of Bunji's new level and awareness. When Kura became ill, Bunji followed Kami's words and suppressed his emotions as a parent. This enabled enabled him to entrust Kura's life to Kami. While Bunji did pray, the prayers were primarily in response to desperate requests from Tose, who feared the loss of her child. After receiving Kami's message through Bunji, Tose's sincere reliance on Kami enabled her to realize divine favor. This experience resulted in the deepening relationship between Kami and Tose. The fact that Tose was able to realize divine presence and showed Bunji that his own faith could save others. This was a major expansion in Bunji's relationship with both Kami and other people.
With Kura's health crisis resolved and Bunji's faith development acknowledged with a new divine name, another serious crisis awaited him. On June 16, his son Ieyoshi fell ill. Bunji thought his son had also contracted smallpox and prayed every day for his full recovery. However, instead of recovering, his son's condition worsened. Neither cold nor warm water could pass through Ieyoshi's throat. On the morning of June 21, as he prayed for Kami's help, Kami questioned him sternly. His illness is serious and life-threatening. It has been 5 or 6 days since it began. If it were smallpox, it would have erupted by now. Did you not falsify his birth certificate several years ago when you were 41? Are you willing to correct it now? If you do not, he cannot be saved. Will you discard the current birth amulet into the river and make another one which states the correct year of birth? What will you do?
So back in December of 1854, when Bunji was 41, he had changed Iyeyoshi's birth year on his birth certificate in hopes of escaping misfortune. Accepting the traditional belief that a 42-year-old father with a 2-year-old son was risking his life and possibly his son's life, he had adhered to the practice of altering the true birth year. When Kami asked Bunji if he was prepared to discard the falsified birth certificate and reinstate Iyeyoshi's true birth year, Kami was in fact helping Bunji confront his past offenses. Instead of trying to avoid misfortune by deceit, Kami helped Bunji realize the importance of life.
In response, Bunji apologized, saying, "I am sorry. I will discard the falsified birth certificate and reinstate the true year of birth for Iyeyoshi. Please save him." Kami answered, "In that case, register him as a 6-year-old born in the year of the tiger and change his name to Tora Yoshi. Tora is tiger in Japanese and Yoshi means good. I will give a divine sign by 10 o'clock this morning. Stay at home during the morning. After lunch, have everyone read the ice here."
The divine sign Kami had foretold. Iyeyoshi drank the full, he cupped, and also asked for some dumplings, which Bunji dipped in warm water for him to eat. After eating only one, Iyeyoshi was satisfied, and overjoyed, Tose urged him to eat more. Whereupon Bunji said, "Do not insist, however. Take another advice and have him eat another." Iyeyoshi then threw up blood on Bunji, scolded his wife and said, "I told you not to insist." We forced him to eat too much, causing him to suffer. Bunji gave thanks to Kami for the recovery of Iyeyoshi and whereupon Kami said, "You need not worry anymore. You will come with me." He had lunch dinner with
On June 27, Kami informed Bunji that Iyeyoshi would be affiliated with smallpox, afflicted with smallpox. Kami added, "This time you do not need the second roast, since you put them up and took them down the last time." 2 years old Konko, who has had sores on his face since last week, who experienced a minor case of smallpox, machine developed at most only 50 or 60 red spots without any of the initial symptoms, such as high fever, alcohol pain, rain at your house after to suffers. On that day, although Jose had not noticed Kono's smallpox, she did stay. Kono may have caught a cold but sleeping. When I breastfed her mouth
feverish.
However, the next day, Kono exhibited the signs of smallpox, so her own elder sister could look after her all day.
おはようございます。Good morning. ただいまから歌を、4つ歌わせていただきます。We're going to sing four songs, page 57, 新人の栄光からです。よろしくお願いいたします。
「 With a heart of love and worry, I face my life every morning, wanting to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear, sorrow within my heart. Still I know, even one as small as heart can run into someday and find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We are never alone in our lives. When I'm down and ready to surrender, when times are hard and it seems so dark, just know each day that I'm never on my own gives me strength and courage to try harder. Holding hands with my friends standing by my side, swinging arms together we will walk to the shining, shimmering, brilliant light glowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high, for we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives.
ありがとうございました。
いきなり本校大臣天地神の神主に祝え、おかげは心にあり、今月この日で頼め。いきなり本校大臣天地神の神主に祝え、おかげは心にあり、今月この日で頼め。 りがとうございました。
Thank you for joining us. Just an announcement. This coming Wednesday, August 24th, we'll have a Kyoto study group session at 5 o'clock p.m. on Zoom. Please join us. I'll put the link on Facebook. Have a good new week. Bye-bye. Take care.